Hello there, good folks watching the daily vlog. Welcome to day 25. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and guess what I'm going to say? It's an extremely loaded day because Mondays are when a lot of people kickstart their transformation. And it's already mid-morning, and all I've got done is one client call in the morning. I still have a ton of plans to be flying out, a ton of editing to do, and a ton of food to eat, along with a ton of reps to smash. It's a push day. You know, whenever we have a ton of work that is beyond our capacity for the given time pushed onto us, somehow we have this, unseen potential fly out of nowhere from within us, and then we're just smashing goals through the day. That is a very simple human tendency that we can all experience only when we are put under pressure. You know how when, new mothers kind of lift cars when accidentally their newborn goes underneath. I mean, I don't know if that's something that really happened or, just old myth or folklore or whatever. But whenever we are put into pressure, we adapt. I'm planning to seriously adapt with the new time management protocols, and things are going pretty good. All right, let's get some butter heated up. In the mood for toast this morning. See, this way, when you preheat the butter separately and put it in a bowl, you can end up using not as much and yet get an even flavor. So now you can just brush it on the bread, and then just that amount of butter will go in all. But then if you just directly put it in the pan, then how much of you're using is just going to get coated on one side of the bread. So, it's a small trick in the book that can help you have an even flavor on your toast. So flip him and brush again. And now we dive into some egg whites, good old egg whites. Let's do a quick flip. And yeah, not having any peanut butter today. Off late, I'm kind of, restraining from having peanut butter that is sourced locally, because a lot of times the oil they use is not the highest quality, and that seems to be a problem. We're almost done with all the work for the day, just getting some final upload necessary steps wrapped up as we jump into meal number 2 very soon. Yeah, that should be good. Starting off with some egg whites. Now this area is obviously off limits because we've just had some black oxide white cement mixture to seal wherever the hole is, because we don't know where there is a leakage, and what apparently has been leaking all the way down onto the racks, and all the bowls are getting wet and obviously sticky and smelly. So luckily we have more than one sink in this area, so we're getting things washed outside and getting egg whites cooked inside. A little higher than usual amount of egg whites for the day. Sunday special, yeah. There is actually Sunday special food. There's some delicious lamb curry and ghee rice made at home. So we have something very similar. I have some vegetarian pulao. No onions though, just carrots and capsicum and regular grain white rice along with our egg whites. And of course, we'll throw in some veggies. Maybe a slither of some lamb curry. I mean, who can resist that goodness? Coffee flavor ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Let's get those egg whites onto our rice. So we got meal number 2. Got some basic veggies and lentils. So we just knocked another call, and that's all the work for the day with regards to coaching done. So now we can deep dive into a bit more of editing and then jump into training. It's been a very productive day, a very fresh and lively day perhaps. I think I'm feeling so lively because the past couple of days I've been running on lower sleep than optimal. So I've had this sluggishness all over me, and now it feels completely opposite, which is phenomenal, which is going to translate into a hopefully pretty good session. I know what you guys are thinking. This guy eats and then trains and then goes back and eats again and then says, I'll catch you tomorrow. It's monotonous. I get it. This is a transformation vlog, but I have some variety. One more. Cut. Today we're going to train chest, shoulder, triceps as we deep dive into tearing those muscle fibers and tasting that sweet flavor of high protein. Then you did. Back to reality. Wonderful set. Got 3 more, and then shoulders, obviously. என்ன மேட்ச் யார் விளாட்றா நீங்க? ஆசரியா? Arsenal. I basically know barely anything about football, so yeah. I mean, I do know Arsenal, that was a joke. Whew. Just the water. Going good. Post-workout is probably going to be back to good old dosa today, but yeah, haven't really decided on that. I do think I got some coconut chutney, which I can use for dinner. So. Definitely getting stronger. The only reason I'm not jumping another level of the weights is the back does feel fairly tender whenever I try to push for a slower rep. See, that's how you progressively overload, yeah? When you can do a weight comfortably compared to usual, you try doing it slower. And then when that gets comfortable, you can go to the next weight. Or if you can jump to the next weight, that's fine. But a lot of times, let's say there's a 5 kilo dumbbell and a 10 kilo, there's no 7.5. 5 is too easy, 10 is too hard. What do? Try doing it with a 5, but go really slow. That's going to put more time and attention on the muscle, so more progressive overload. And go really slow with the weights I'm doing it already, so that way get more time and attention. And the back stays fairly safe. Ooh. Right, that's a wrap with the primary lifts. Up next, we've got some flies, some lateral raises, and some tricep presses. Drinking water sitting down is better for your body, as per very recent research on the same. So, whenever you can, or all times, have to drink water sitting down. Might drop the weight a little, because a lot of times when we're fixed on a weight and we haven't reached our rep range, what we do is we try to push and try to cheat a little and get it done without changing the weight. But I mean, that can be okay in certain scenarios where mild cheating and momentum is allowed. Well, quote unquote allowed. But you can reduce and maintain the form, because as you train any muscle, it's going to get weaker and weaker as the reps go by, which makes sense if it can only push a lower load than it did when you started rep number 1. So that's always okay to drop to maintain form and get better hypertrophy, better focused hypertrophy, in the target muscle. Three down, one more to go. That's actually bad. See, I've just had that much water. I should probably have a bit more than that, but then you always sip when you work out, you don't gulp. It's a terrible mistake, don't do that. Should probably take more sips. Going with the good old rope press downs. Fancy workouts and the new stuff that comes out with evidence on better hypertrophy, all that is good, but occasionally throwing in the old school stuff can be very beneficial. Like, for example, some things are already perfected and you don't have to really work on that. Like the bench press is already an amazing workout. Doesn't mean other forms are not good, but you don't need to perfect something that's already perfect. So the bench press is still the gold standard. So the rope press downs are just like that for the tricep. But at least for me, in my personal experience, it's been like that. We jump into cardio, or do we just run away without it? A lot of people do that. They have really tiring workout and they're like, maybe I'll skip the cardio today. Don't do that. See, cardio should not be overdone. Okay, I'm a strong, promoter of strength training because a lot of people abuse cardio, especially coaches who are not up to the mark with the evidence on strength training and conditioning and fat loss or whatever as of 2023 or 2024. At the same time, it is a wonderful tool that will aid fat loss and help you eat more as you lose fat, which kind of becomes key for consistency, especially if you're someone who has a fairly high appetite, which, let's be real, a lot of us, most of us who are slightly heavier than usual end up having a higher appetite, which is one of the reasons why we, become overweight, because we eat more, because there's a higher appetite. So no matter how tired you are, if you have a cardio target for that week, get it done. Dosa o'clock. Hey, the pan's been massacred. And as long as the dosa comes out without sticking, I'm glad. Battering it. All right, for a second I thought there was no batter at home. Gladly, there's sufficient at the least for a couple of doses. I'm just going to need a few. All right, perhaps just drizzle a tiny bit of oil just to be on the safe side. It looks really dry. I think they fried eggs on this. I think the sink is finally fixed. Hopefully we don't have any more leakages. Dried, so people have started using the sink. I actually forgot that I need to add egg whites to the dosa. So dosa is already cooked, but then this extra time to cook the egg whites means it's going to get real crispy. So it's a win-win. And we'll throw one whole egg onto that. Don't play with your eggs like that. I'm actually extremely hungry, so just going to dig in. That's coconut chutney, by the way. Lovely. I used to do this a lot, when I'm really hungry, and dosa is obviously a time-consuming process. So when one's getting ready, I'll finish the other. And then after I take that, I'll eat that, and by the time the other one will get ready. It's a fun game, but not a very, low-fat friendly game. So there's that. Smooth landing. And that is going to be our last meal of the day, a post-workout plus. There is some lamb curry left, so okay, there's no lamb, just lamb curry. Probably put some of that. Brilliant. Comfort food, healthy, fermented, delicious. Hope you guys as well have a lovely day like I did today. Not like pakla.